Hey gang, welcome back to another video on thermodynamics. Today's video is going to build off of the previous video where we're going to continue the conversation on entropy. But in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to work through an example problem where we're going to use entropy, we're going to talk about entropy balances, and from there we're going to calculate the amount of theoretical or reversible work we could perform for a system. In this case, we're going to use a turbine. And we're going to also calculate the actual amount of work that is being produced by our system. And from there, we'll build on what we know to calculate the efficiency of our turbine. So as a recap from last video with our theoretical system, we have an adiabatic turbine with superheated steam entering at a temperature of 500 degrees Celsius and a pressure of 5 bar. And exiting, we have something coming out. Could be water, could be steam, we don't know yet, and it's coming out at 2 bar. And we have some potential options of what's exiting. We could have saturated liquid, we could have saturated vapor, or we could have superheated vapor at 400 degrees C, or superheated steam. Now, if we think about and look at our system, we have enthalpies for our inlet and outlet options, and looking at our inlet, that initial enthalpy is going to be 3,484.5 kilojoules per kilogram. And then we've got different exiting enthalpies for the different types of water we have exiting. And as you may see when we compare enthalpies, that the biggest change in enthalpy would be going from the superheated steam at 500 C to saturated liquid. And with the turbine, the whole point is to get energy out of the turbine. So if we had full reign over what we get out of our turbine, yeah, saturated liquid sounds great. But there's a catch. We don't get full say over what we have coming out of the turbine. Thermodynamics dictate what's actually going to exit. And in particular, related to thermodynamics, entropy. Entropy is going to control what is physically possible to leave my turbine. And the reason why is because entropy is a way to quantify the amount of energy not available to do useful work. That particular definition of entropy is really important for us when we're dealing with turbines or compressors or pumps, because it's going to govern what energy we actually can get out of our system. And so what we're going to do is we're now going to figure out how much theoretical work I could get out of my turbine. And then afterwards, we're going to reassess and figure out, are any of those scenarios I gave you with saturated liquid, saturated vapor, or superheated vapor steam, are any of those actually possible? So let's get into it. And the first part we're going to do is we're going to first look at our energy balance, because the energy and entropy balances are going to be tied together. So looking at our energy balance, we've got the traditional energy balance, delta H plus delta EK plus delta EP equals Q dot plus WS dot. Now, for our system, there's nothing mentioned in terms of our kinetic or potential energy to indicate that there's going to be a huge change. So we can assume those are going to be 0. And then additionally, we found out on the previous slide that we have an adiabatic turbine. So that means that there's no heat loss. So that leaves me with my change in enthalpy is going to equal the work that's exiting my turbine. And we can rearrange our enthalpy just a little bit. We can pull out our mass flow rate, and then we have our specific outlet enthalpy minus our specific inlet enthalpy. And if we want to, we can set it up so that its work per mass flow rate is going to equal the change in our specific enthalpy, comparing the outlet with the inlet. Now, at this point, we can't move forward with our energy balance because we don't know anything else. And so now we need to change gears, and we're going to jump into our entropy balance. So with our entropy balance, it's actually the same idea as what you did for a material balance or an energy balance, where we have accumulation is going to equal my in minus out plus generation minus consumption. Obviously, the terms are going to look a little different, but it's the same starting point. So with our accumulation, that's the change in entropy with respect to time. And we've got M is the mass of the system, S hat is our specific entropy. And that little t is our time. The next part is our inlet. So we're going to look at all the entropy that is entering our system with the different mass streams that are entering my system. And we represent M dot, we represent mass flow rate as M dot. Similarly, we're going to look at the outlet streams, and we're going to look at all the entropy that is exiting and leaving my system with those outlet streams. And then we have two additional terms, and that's going to be a combination of generation/consumption terms. So that first term is the sum of all the different places where we have heat transfer occurring over a particular temperature gradient. So that's where our Qn is the rate of heat that's added to or removed at one location. And with respect to the temperature at the system at the boundary where heat transfer is occurring. And if there's multiple places where we have heat transfer, we need to sum up all those different locations and the heat transfer that is occurring at those respective locations. And then finally, we have a entropy generation term, because as we talked about in the previous video, entropy is always increasing in the universe unless we have a ideal reversible process where in that case, entropy is not going to be changing. So now that we have our entropy balance, let's now apply this to the problem statement. So we've got our entropy balance. We're going to infer that the system is going to be operating at steady state. And because it is, that means that my accumulation term is going to equal 0. Additionally, since we have an adiabatic turbine, that means my Qn over Tn term is going to be 0. We're adiabatic. And then finally, because we're going to do this entropy balance for an ideal system first, that means that I am not going to be generating any additional entropy. And again, this only happens when we have an ideal reversible process. So now if we bring everything down, we're going to have the entropy contributions for my inlet stream minus the entropy contributions of my outlet stream are going to equal 0. And as a reminder, I only have one stream entering and one stream exiting my turbine. Therefore, my m dot in is going to equal m dot out. And so I can just divide out by m dot. And that will leave me with and that's my reminder. And that's going to leave me with S in equals S out. And that's specific entropy. So now that I know that, let's move forward and let's use some of the properties we know about our steam that's entering the system. So we know we've got superheated steam, 500 T, pressure is 5 bar. We can look at our steam tables to get that specific entropy. And in this case, it's 8.0892 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. And now that I know that, we can go back to my entropy balance, S in equals S out. And we find out, oh, S out has to be 8.0892 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. Great. Now that we know that, the next part of this is to figure out, okay, what's the theoretical enthalpy that corresponds with that outlet entropy? So from here, we're going to do some detective work. We're going to figure out what is that outlet enthalpy, and we're going to do some interpolating to get there. So looking at as a reminder, we know that the outlet is going to be at 2 bar. So we have to look at our steam tables and kind of scan through the steam tables to find what's the appropriate range for our outlet entropy. And if you look through, what you'll see is that it's going to be superheated steam, and it's going to be between 350 and 400 degrees Celsius. You see that those two entropies are going to cover the range in which our outlet entropy is going to be in. And now that we know that, we can do an interpolation to figure out the outlet enthalpy. So we've got our interpolation equation. We've got the entropies and enthalpy variables all in place. We then can substitute in, and we find out that my outlet enthalpy is going to be 3,190 kilojoules per kilogram. And that is the theoretical enthalpy. The corresponding temperature that goes along with it is 357.8 degrees Celsius. So that is if I was getting all the energy possible out of the system, this is it. We're going to be at a temperature of 357.8 degrees Celsius at a pressure of 2 bar, and that's the corresponding enthalpy that goes with it. So now that we have this, we can figure out the work that's being obtained from our system. So we've got our energy balance equation. We know the outlet enthalpy, we know our inlet enthalpy. So we can substitute those values in. And now we can get the theoretical amount of work per mass flow rate. And that's going to be negative 294.5 kilojoules per kilogram. So that's the most amount of work I could get from my system, thanks to the entropy balance. Now that we know all this, we can go back and revisit our example problem. So as a recap, we've got our inlet enthalpy is almost 3,500 kilojoules per kilogram. We know that my theoretical enthalpy is 3,190 kilojoules per kilogram. And as a reminder, with that theoretical enthalpy, we cannot be lower than this. Cannot be lower. If we go lower than that, it's physically impossible. And so now that we have all those parameters, let's look at the three different scenarios and the corresponding enthalpies. And when we do this, you see that for saturated liquid and saturated vapor, those both are below our theoretical enthalpy. And therefore, those two options are not physically possible. The only option that is a possibility is superheated vapor at a temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. So now, using this information, let's go back and do our energy and entropy balance for our scenario C, superheated vapor at a temperature of 400 degrees Celsius, to find out how much work we really are going to be able to get out of our turbine. So we've got our energy balance. We have our corresponding enthalpies. We know what the outlet and inlet enthalpies are. And from here, we have our work. It's negative 207.5 kilojoules per kilogram. And as you may recall, this is less than the theoretical amount of work I could get out of the system, which makes sense because we're never going to get everything out of our system that we hope we could. And now that we know the amount of work we actually are getting, we can substitute this in and figure out the efficiency of our turbine. And as a recap from the previous video, the efficiency of our turbine is going to be the work we actually get out of the system divided by the theoretical amount of work we could get out of the system. And we can substitute in our values. And from here, we get that the efficiency of our turbine is 0.704, which is pretty good. Now that we have the efficiency of our turbine, we've figured out the actual amount of work that we performed. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go and do our entropy balance and kind of prove to ourselves that this is a feasible process. So we've got our entropy balance. As a reminder, we have no accumulation because we're at steady state. We have an adiabatic turbine, so the Q over T term, that's gone. But we now are going to have that S generation term because it is not an ideal process anymore. Now that we simplified everything down, we've got the inlet entropy minus outlet entropy plus generation is equal to 0. We can move the S generation term to its own side. We can also substitute, we can change my mass flow rates to be one variable, m dot. And from here, we can bring my m dot over to the entropy generation side. And we can also just get rid of the negative sign on the entropy generated term and move the negative sign to the right-hand side. And that'll give me that S generation over m dot equals my outlet entropy minus my inlet entropy. And those are specific entropies. Now that we have this, we can now do some substituting in. We've got our outlet entropy is 8.2236 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin, and we got that off the steam table. We subtract out our initial specific entropy, and what we see is that the amount of entropy we are generating with this process is 0.1344 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. And if we think about this, this makes sense because according to the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy of the universe is always going to be increasing. We have a positive value, which is telling me this makes sense, this fits the bill. We are increasing the entropy of the universe. And so this is going to wrap up today's video. And to summarize and recap what we did, we learned about the entropy balance. We got to apply it to an actual system. We calculated the theoretical amount of work and the actual amount of work that can be done by our system. And we got to use all that information to then calculate the efficiency of our turbine. And so that's everything for today's video. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.